I would highly recommend don't move your eyes. In this view, you can easily see the structure of a thylakoid. The red arrow is showing the outer membrane of a thylakoid and the inner side wala arrow is showing inner membrane of a thylakoid. The black arrow is showing the inner compartment which is lumen of a thylakoid. The first step of the reaction is falling the light on photosystem, where photosystem 2 has a light harvesting complexes which initiate the reaction. The OEC, which is called as oxygen evolving complex, which is present in lumen side of a thylakoid, where water splitting occurs. Water splits into proton, electron and oxygen. This process occurs in presence of manganese, chlorine and calcium like cofactors. The oxygen which is produced here goes into the environment and free up. The electron produces here goes to the PS2 and then in a cycle, which is actually there is a non-cycle, and goes ultimately the NADP reductase and used up by it and form NADPH and H+. Now we're gonna discuss about the carriers present between the photosystem 2 and NADP reductase and how they passes electron, how the process goes on. The red arrow in the picture shows the path of flow of electrons. Just after water splitting, 2 electron produced by a single molecule of water jumps into the photosystem 2 and passes to pheophytin. From here it passes to plastoquinone. Plastoquinone is actually a proton carrier because it gets electron. It brings 2 protons from stroma side and form PQH2. This PQH2 transfer the protons inside the lumen of thylakoid while the 2 electrons passes towards cytochrome B6 and F. From here they passes to the plastocyanin and plastocyanin passes these 2 electrons into the photosystem 1. From photosystem 1 they passes towards the ferredoxin reducing substances which is known as FRS, and from here electron passes towards the ferredoxin and finally and ultimately ferredoxin passes these 2 electrons towards the NADP reductase, which reduces NAD plus into NADPH plus H plus. Because the electrons are completely used up in this process, this is why this reaction is known as non-cyclic reaction, because electrons are used up. So there is no chance for a cyclic motion of these electrons. This is how it done. The most important thing, if you noticed here, is the flow of electron occurs in the intermembranous space of thylakoid, which is a place between the inner membrane of a thylakoid and the outer membrane of a thylakoid.